Hi, I'm Mike Morales. You are looking at and watching Sipping Off the Cuff here on TequilaAficionado.com and Tequila Aficionado Media. I'm here in San Antonio. That gentleman over there is...
Rick Levy in San Diego.
And Rick, you've been with us now for a few of these Sipping Off the Cuffs. You know, you're getting your feet wet. You're liking we're liking what you're doing because you've got you got an extensive library. But tonight you and I want to discuss the USA Today Top 10 list. It's a Reader's Choice list that came out today. If you're watching us, today is Monday, August 15th, and that's the day that this list went live. And it was interesting because we woke up last week to an email from the lady who curates these lists for USA Today, asking for us to put together a list of at least 20 tequilas because they were going to do this contest. And Lisa, our COO, Lisa Peach, and my significant other and girlfriend and all that, she says, don't just come up with your list and send it to them. Come up with a blog post, because I dread these lists. I do, because I've had to ghostwrite them before for other magazines. And anyway, it turns out that, I wrote the blog post. I released my list before they even came out with theirs today. And I was really happy. I think I'm very pleasantly surprised that the majority of the lists were consistent with mine. I couldn't get any information from the gal as to who the other expert was or experts that were helping curate this list. But so when the list pops up, you'll see, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of that list, you'll see myself and Grover from Taste Tequila and from Tequila Matchmaker. So it figures that we would be on, pretty much on par with those choices. And so anyway, I thought it'd be interesting if we kind of took some of these and just see what we had. I thought it was interesting, when her name was Lydia, when she asked me to come up with the list, she asked for tequilas that were available in the U.S. And that were accessible to people. But, she asked for specific tequilas. Had I known that she was asking, that I could do what she did, I had the Artenome, for instance, which is listed here. I had each individual Artenome from a different distillery because that's an individual tequila. It's not like...
Yeah. Well, that would make sense because specifically in the Arten line, the different expressions aren't related at all.
No, and they each come from a different provider, a different supplier, producer. And also Siembra Valles and Siembra Azul, are highlands versus lowlands, literally two different lines. So what they did was they condensed those two together to make Siembra Spirits, and Artenome is all in general. And had I known, had I known she was going to do that, which is a really smart thing to do in hindsight, because it allowed for two more really great selections. I was really happy. First of all, I was bummed because I only had 20 choices, right? When I had to stop at 20, I could have gone. When I did my blog, I stopped at 20 because I was working on another project at the same time, so I had limited time to pull this one off. And I said, okay, well, I'll stop at 20, but I could have gone to 25 or 30. I think there are some very reputable brands that should have been listed that were not. But what do you think of in general of this list? From what I can tell on Facebook and Twitter, there are some people who are really, really happy with the list, which is rare because, as I mentioned in my blog, no one's ever really fully happy with selections.
No, I really think this is a great list. And, it's like a lot of these have a permanent home in my library. I was thinking, when we were talking about doing this segment, I was thinking about, pulling out bottles like a lot of times we do from the same distillery when we're tasting something, but it would just be too many bottles to try to pull out for this segment because, there's just a lot of excellent stuff here. There's a few that I haven't had. There's a couple that I've had a while ago that I would probably want to revisit before I said anything official on. But in terms of the brands, I think they're all very respectable.
Yeah, I was really happy to see, like I said, that the majority of my list is intact. That I, a recent arrival in the tequila, at least with his brands, are Felipe Camarena. Although he's been, he's got pedigree and he's been doing it for a long time, and he's had a tequila out before, but he really has made a big splash with G4 and Pasote, which I had Pasote here
on Saturday night.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, if you had any, because we could have done a sipping off the cuff, with one of those.
I filled those bottles on Saturday night, man. I was there.
Of course, Embajadores on there, Suerte. There's a lot of I like I say, the response so far on Facebook has been really, really great. A lot of the circle of people that we know, and even the ones that we don't know, have been sharing, have been voting. You can vote once a day from every device. So I guess at the end of this segment, we'll have the actual link so that people who have no idea what we're talking about can click on the link, and then you can vote for your favorite, and then you can actually, each one of these, the way they have this set up, you can click on the actual brand and share that either on your Facebook.
You can evangelize your favorite of the list.
Yeah, vote early, vote often, and stuff the ballot box. It's like voting for the All-Star game,
But All-Star game, yeah, they're all winners, and this list would be a great to-do list for somebody who's really looking to explore.
I think so too. Because you really run the gamut. You go highlands, lowlands, stuff in between, stuff from the same distillery that people may or may not know, organic tequila as well. I think there's some really awesome brands here. Oh, also Germán González, two of his brands as well, the T1 Tequila Uno and Tears of Llorona are both on this list. And these guys have really worked so hard to get the word out there, to get to be where they're at. One that you haven't had that I would really highly suggest is Desmadre. I think that one's the dark horse. They do a lot of great stuff on Instagram, on their social media, Instagram, Facebook. I believe they're on Twitter.
And that always makes the juice taste good.
Well, they're coming with us on our tour. We'll talk about them later. But I think that's one that if people have not seen yet, if they're not maybe on social media or not on Facebook or Twitter, they should really look for that one, because that to me is a really, really old school taste of a tequila. I think both of our choices that were here from myself and Grover from Taste Tequila, from the Tequila Matchmaker app. If you don't have one, you should download it, because, like you said, it's a great list. And then if you want to know more about it, or what other people are thinking about it, or what they've been able to pull from
it. It's a great community that uses that app, and you can go in and read what people are saying, or you could just quickly scan the ratings to get a feel for what might be a good thing to check out. Mm-hmm. But I've been on that app for forever, since their first major release, and I haven't, I haven't been on there doing reviews for a while. I've been busy. I need to get back to that. And of course, I've got a whole stack I could enter in now. But
well, yeah, now you've got,
I really love it.
with you doing our sipping off the cuff with us, you got a lot of stuff now under your belt that you may be the first one to actually write notes on.
Yeah.
Because I frequently when I've been on it, I find that I tend to be maybe there's only one or two who have had it before, who have a definite opinion.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of what you're doing is specializing in new brands. So
right.
You're kind of leading the charge.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that I'm so glad that a couple of these are getting the attention that they really deserve. Have you had Isha tequila?
I have not.
Now that one is distilled at Green Bar Distillery.
Here's the gringo. That's the IXA.
Isha.
IXA,
yeah.
All right.
These guys, I've interviewed the master distiller, and I have yet to actually write that piece up. It was an extensive interview over Skype, and that one, he has a distillery. His micro distillery for all the other stuff that he makes is in Los Angeles. So if you feel so inclined, you could actually visit him and his wife. And they make several different types of spirits as well on his facility. But this tequila is the only one he had to actually go there and borrow a distillery, kind of like Charbet does, with theirs. But were there any surprises for you when you saw this list, or did you do a lot of head nodding and go, yeah?
Yeah, I was impressed. I was looking at it and just going, yeah, it's like rooting for the home team or something, because, it's like 15 of these I have, and I love and recommend them all. There's a couple here that I haven't had yet, and so now I'm definitely going to be checking them out.
Good deal.
I like the list. Have you? Yeah, and, it's like I could go on and on going in and discussing each one of these, but... Now, Casa Noble recently got purchased by, one of these really big liquor companies.
They've been bought by Constellation Brands. And I'll be honest, since Constellation has acquired them, I have not had Casa Noble. And
yeah, I was wondering if there's any, if they've increased production, and if so, have you tried the new lots?
I haven't tried any of the new lots. Chances are there's a lot of old stock out there. I mean, they were pretty prominent before Constellation, and even before Santana came on board. They were widely available. They were with another company out of Napa Valley who was doing their importing, and then Constellation took over them, I believe. But
and they've had juice sitting in barrels for a long time over there. So I'm wondering how fast they'll work through that now, and what the new stuff will be like. I haven't tried any of the stuff in the new bottlings.
I don't know either. I know that we've heard rumblings and we've heard rumors that having to do with their organic certification. I've heard one story. I've heard another one from them directly. So I don't know. My jury's been out. I having known those guys for a long time, I haven't been able to communicate with them for a while because obviously they're busy now. They're even more busier now than they were before. So to be honest, if you want to see what my list looked like before it hit my version of this list, you can go online at tequilaaficionado.com and you can see it. My title was interesting. It's the top 20 craft tequilas you've overlooked, and that is my version of this, long before this one came out. But I am really, as a fan, I'm real happy that all of these brands are there. To me, the surprise was Don Modesto, which is probably as close to organic as you can get. I think they should be more widely known, so I'm real happy that they're on there. Isha is another one I think that's highly underrated. Desmadre to me is another one that's just coming on the scene, and I think that it's very worthy. The other one,
there's going to be a lot of people out there. In terms of the voting, I could really see, Felipe's stuff getting overlooked, the Pasote and the G4.
Oh yeah.
Just because it really just came in off the truck.
It came off the truck, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. The other, the stalwarts are on there as well. Siete Leguas, really happy. And it's funny. I was kind of sad when I turned my stuff in. I said, because there were 3 of them that I really wanted. That I was thinking to myself, I wish there was a way for me to put that on that list, give her more than my 20, and I didn't do that. But Siete Leguas was one of them.
Yeah.
I think the other one was that I was hoping to get in there or was thinking about was actually it was Grandovejo was on that list. But I already had Artenon 1414, which comes from the same distillery, and
yeah.
Not that they're the same flavor profile, because I'm sure they've tweaked it enough, because we've had enough from 1414 to know that they're able to really switch up their recipes, and
they do great stuff.
Yeah, and then each brand has a real different flavor profile, kind of like what Felipe is doing with Pasote and G4, and the other one that's coming on that we haven't put on that list, Terralta, is coming. I can't wait to see that one. So there's a lot of I'm hoping, if nothing else, I'm hoping that what we accomplish with this list is that it opens up everybody's mind to go, hey, I should try that, or make it a bucket list, like you said.
Yeah.
Really take the list. Whoever wins, as far as I'm concerned, this is like the Oscars. If you're nominated, you've won. But they're going to narrow this down to 10. So vote often and vote early. And
how to choose, though?
Yeah, yeah. Or go out and get yourself some samples.
And there's so many great stories in these brands too.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I like the stories behind the brands. You have like Adolfo Murillo with the Alchimia, and then you have the guys that are making Suerte. I was glad to see that on the list. The Dulce Vida guys are doing great stuff.
Yeah. Well, they just.
And then of course Tapatio. You gotta love Tapatio.
The Vida, the Dulce Vida. Today they launched in Austin their new line. They're coming up with a new line. It's 80 proof, and also a new line of flavored tequilas, infused tequilas. I haven't had any. I don't know. They've recently were acquired by a mid-sized company, and so it'll be interesting to see how that's going to
be looking to expand the brand, of course.
Well, yeah, not everybody can palate that 100 proof.
Yeah.
But
man, I'm a huge fan of that Lone Star Añejo.
Yeah. Well, that
whole line's great, but
that whole line is awesome. Their extra Añejo is stellar. So, again, if you're looking at this list and you're going, where do I start? Just start from the top, man. Just because, and I think bottom line too, Rick, you'll probably agree with me, is that we should make sure that we support these people, because they're not only worthy of your hard-earned bucks, but get a favorite and support these people, because they're not making a whole lot of money. They're even the guys who have pedigree, like Herman Gonzalez and maybe Carlos, because he's been in the business for so long, but they're out there pounding the pavement every day, and it's not easy. This business is tough.
Yeah.
And so any one of these that you have a favor for, vote for them, share them with your friends, and support them, because I think each of these are worthy of your support. That's my opinion. Bottom line, start drinking the good stuff and get rid of
that's right,
the other stuff. But anyway, that's our take. You'll see the link at the bottom of all of this particular Sipping Off the Cuff. But for now, The contest runs until, I think, September 12th of 2016. So if you're watching this somewhere between now and then, go ahead and vote. And then subscribe down below. Tell us what you think. Give us your opinions. Maybe we missed a few. I don't know. Yeah, like I say, I wish I could expand it to 20, 25, 30, because I could find them, But for now, I think that's a great list. And is there anything else you want to add, Rick, for people like you who are looking at this going, oh, wait a minute?
Yeah, well, like you said, there could have been more, but I think the great thing is there's probably not anything in this list that shouldn't be there.
There you go. I agree with you. Thank you, sir. Well said. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio.
Rick Levy in San Diego.
And you've been watching Sipping Off the Cuff, a special version of it talking about the top 10 best list on USA Today that yours truly had a small hand in. And our buddy Grover from Taste Tequila also had a hand in. So, check it out. You'll see the link on the end of this. And like I say, subscribe down below if you're watching us on YouTube. And keep watching Sipping Off the Cuff, because as we like to say, tomar sabiamente.